And so what I implore you to do is spend a hell of a lot less time worried about other things that will impact you and spend a lot more time to figure out who you actually are. What are you actually good at? Are you actually in a position to be successful? What do you like doing? Because the opportunities are endless. The problem is we are scared to do different things because the fundamental core reality is we worry about what other people think.
Who works harder, me or you?
Me.
100%. How do you know that?
You just can't be working 18 hours a day every day the way I am. I just don't think you are. I just believe it in my heart.
You don't really know anything about it.
You're right.
Okay.
That's how hard I work. The fact that people actually think at 18, 22, or 30, you have to have your shit figured out is fucking ridiculous. Let me promise you, all those parents and uncles and grandparents that push down your throat that you have to figure it out by now, they still haven't figured it the fuck out. 7 billion people need to change the conversation of what success looks like. It is not to make $1 billion. It is to actually wake up in the morning and be in a good mood. I never did one piece of homework in my entire 4 years of high school.
Why?
Because I knew who I was, and I knew that they were gonna push me through, and that I needed the time to hone my skills on my future and not figure out where Saturn was. People literally email me and say, you're so lucky, and I wish this was happening to me, and then the third tweet or the third Instagram post is, awesome Saturday, stayed home and watched an entire season of fucking Game of Thrones. We need to start understanding how big this opportunity is, because for everybody in this room, you will sit back in 20, 30 years and regret if you didn't execute in this era. And by the way, I don't want to hear that this is for 20 and 30 year olds. 40, 50, 60, 70. It's an equal playing field if you're willing to be a practitioner and understand the ecosystem that I've been speaking about.
What should people do?
People should fucking stop complaining.
Right.
People should figure out who the fuck they are.
Good call.
People should not listen to America propaganda of fixing the shit they suck at. They should be tripling down at what they're good at. Figure out what you fucking puts you on fire and you're halfway decent at. If you're lucky enough right now to be listening and you're good at what you like, become tunnel fucking vision. Negativity is dramatically louder than positivity. If you analyze the world, social media, mainstream media, your household, negativity is loud. Positivity tends to be quiet because it's got internal strength to deal with the negativity, and it doesn't bother itself with the negativity. Because of that, we have a world that is louder about bad and quieter about good. 88% of people are addicted to fear.
Addicted to fear?
Fear. Fear is the currency of our society right now. The reason everyone's pointing fingers and talking shit 24/7, 365 is fear.
Okay.
It's insecurity. If your framework in life is negativity, insecurity, and fear, you will be mean. If it's positivity, optimism, and lack of fear, you will be nice. And then you have everything in between. The end. I don't think people understand how practical karma is. I actually think it's the single most practical thing in the world. I think it's just a genuine belief that the more selfless you are capable of being, the more likely what you want selfishly will happen. And I think that's just a point of view. That's a perspective. A leap of faith. I think all of us are byproducts of our environment, our DNA, how we were parented, and we all go different tracks. And I think that most people, unfortunately, come from a place of scarcity, and thus they're trying to hoard for themselves. I think when you're blessed or lucky enough to come from a place of abundance, what you're talking about becomes very easy. It's just how I see the world. I think that the more one can lean into giving back in all shapes and sizes, the more that the world will keep them propped up. If you're on the receiving end of feedback and you start with humility, you can handle anything. And so I think when you're getting feedback from your boss saying, hey, you need to be more thoughtful of your marketing, or hey, you're not strong at supply chain, or hey, don't get mad at them. Deploy. If anything besides being practical and start making money instead of losing money is what you remember from this talk this morning, please make it that you need to go to a senior citizen home and volunteer for one day. Here's what I want you to do. Spend one day at a senior citizen home, and I promise you, you will leave with the following. you will leave that the scariest thing in the world to human beings is regret. What you will see in those 80 and 90-year-olds, some will be happy and they'll be content, but you will see something at scale that scares the living shit out of me. It's called regret. The amount of people that wish they did things is scary. And let me promise you something. When you're 93, it's hard to pull it off.